Hi, Dr. Bo again. Like and subscribe, please. I guess that's the way I'm spreading this information to chiropractors and to possible patients and my grandchildren in the future, howdy grandchildren in the future. And think about coming to see us, at least to get instruction. You can call us or come see us from other people come from out of the state and so forth. Why do I think I'm so special? Why do we think the McLaughlin or Dr. Bo method is so special? It's because everything, when I watch the other good chiropractors trying so hard, I see them not carrying the chiropractic information forward. We don't do chiropractic to make just the spine feel better. It's pressure on the cord, and we forget what makes the cord happy. The cord is happy when the head is back. Now, even my head is still forward too much, and I try to remember to bring it back. When your head is forward, what does that do to the spinal cord? It pulls it taut. Can you picture that? I think I've showed that before. If I have my spinal cord as my shirt, and I have it attached to my skull, and I bring my head forward, and I have a forward head posture, I'm pulling longitudinally on the spinal cord. Now you can't feel that because the cord has no sensation in it. So when you notice you have headaches and stuff like that, I know, Advil, we're not taking that stuff nowadays, Tylenol, it's all been poo-poo. But people putting ice on the back of your head or whatever, it's not just made to solve the headache problem. The headache is an indicator there's something wrong with the nerve system. As I sit here, I find myself leaning forward. It's hard to bring yourself, it takes energy to pull yourself back. But can you picture the spinal cord being more relaxed if I'm up straight? So it's not the neck we're so concerned about, the forward head posture, putting more weight on the disc, causing the neck to go straight, grinding away C5. I've taught you all that. That's been in the videos. I hope you've watched those videos in the past, and that the forward head posture weights the disc, puts more weight forward on the disc, it squeezes the disc, then you have a straight neck, and that straight neck turns in the middle, which makes what C5 goes bad, which goes to your index finger and your thumb. So those get overused, and the C5 disc is usually gone in almost everybody when they come in and have an x-ray done. And we're trying to get people to bring their head back. Now, the adjustment, the cracking and whatever is done in the neck, why is the cracking done? What's that adjustment that Dr. Brenda and Dr. Ed and Dr. Max show so well? And you notice there, the chin is up. And I see chiropractors or people manipulate with the chin down. And I go, why are we adjusting with the chin down? Or taking the neck, some of them do, they pull the neck up like this, and they're standing, and they pull up and over, up and over. Can you see what that does to the facets here? That opens them up. The adjustment should be closing the facet, closing the facet, putting the curve back in. If you're doing an adjustment with the chin down, then you're inducing a chin down, pulling on the spinal cord kind of adjustment. I don't even know if a lot of chiropractors even know that. Go ahead and post below, chiropractors, that you know about the chin being down and forward, how that pulls vertically on the spinal cord, and it actually causes the cord, its diameter, if you chop the head off and look down, the spinal cord would look like that. It doesn't look round and plump anymore when your head's back. When your head goes forward, it becomes flattened and pulls forward. That's the reason why you want the head back over the shoulders. It's not so that these knuckles feel a little better, it's so that the spinal cord isn't being yanked out of its canal by the forward pressure of the head. See, that takes and pull. And some people have shorter spinal cords, so they have more headaches and more stuff. We call it tethering, because the spinal cord is tethered to the ganglion impar, which is the bottom of right in front of the coccyx. There's an attachment there where the spinal cord ends right here, L2, L3, and it forms this cone called the conus medullaris, and then a little ligament comes out of there, and that comes down and ties onto the coccyx, and that tethers the cord. So you'd think your head goes forward and your cord would just come up in the canal. It doesn't. It's tied to the bottom, and therefore when you pull it taut, its diameter gets flattened, just like if you had a hose and you pulled it tight, you'd see its lumen getting flatter. And that causes pressure all the way down the spinal cord. So it's not just segmental pressure. And the spinal cord is why we do chiropractic. I know it feels good to have your back cracked, and oh, I go to this doctor because he cracks my back. The cracking has very little to do with spinal correction. Spinal correction is getting the what? The ear hole, the external auditory meatus, over top of the C7 IVF, over top of the greater trochanter, this bump right here, and that goes all the way down to the lateral malleolus, which is the side of which is the ankle bone. Those are supposed to be perfectly on top of each other from the side, and that's the way you want to have your posture changed to. And that doesn't matter. Back pain is a small part of what that does, but the spinal cord is what keeps you alive. And that's the big reason we do it, is to take pressure off the spinal cord, which unfortunately lives inside of this box. This is the tube that the spinal cord lives inside of. And we're trying to take the pressure off that spinal cord. That's the whole reason chiropractic exists. Not to make your back feel better or your neck feel better. Those are simply symptoms to tell you the box you carry your spinal cord around in is in trouble. Like I always, for some reason, I don't know if it makes sense, I think of a violin case. So you have a Stradivarius, it's worth $1 million, and you carry it around inside of a violin case. And the case you carry the violin in is important because if that gets dented or has pressure on the Stradivarius, it can damage the Stradivarius. So that's why we're concerned about the box that we carry the spinal cord in. Have you ever been told that? I doubt if you've ever been told that. I hope the chiropractors say, yes, post below. Yes, I know that. That's what we're taking care of, is the box the Stradivarius is being carried around in. That's why we're concerned about the health of the discs and the pain in the facets. That tells us that something's going on before it jams on the Stradivarius and ruins the whole spinal cord. That's what we're doing this for. Wow. Let me know if I'm on the right track. I don't want to be entertaining. I just want to be informative and tell you why you're going to see your chiropractor when you don't feel bad. Because that seems to be the plaint. You got to go to a chiropractor all the time. Well, you brush your teeth all the time, don't you? Why? If you don't brush your teeth, you're going to have rotten teeth. So you must brush them as a preventative. And the spinal cord needs to be shaped with these curvatures in here, with those spots I mentioned before on top of each other, because that's where the spinal cord is floating down the center of space and time in the middle of your spinal canal. You don't want to have spinal canal pressure on the cord. That's what causes multiple sclerosis and all those things. Your head going forward, pulling your spinal cord longitudinally and flattening it out. I know, too much information. God bless, like and subscribe.